my name is SugaryND and welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. It's about time we do the class trial now, so that's always fun. That might take a really long time. By that I mean you already know the time of the video, but I don't because I'm recording it now. But anyways, it should probably last like between 1 and 2 hours or something. So get ready for a long ass episode of this. It's, I don't know, the 3rd class trial now? Everyone had heard Monokuma's proclamation and they were gathered by the red door. As soon as we were all there... What? 2 of them? He's multiplied?
Nope, not multiplication. It just looks that way because you're an illusion.
I can imagine him saying that.
I'm moving so fast it only looks like I've multiplied. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma?
Can we just get on the elevator already?
Boy, tough crowd. You're not playing along. Along.
Tough crowd. We're not here to play with you. Yeah, you go, my boy.
Okay, fine. And if everyone here is ready to go, please aboard the pain train or elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Okay then, shall we?
Please.
Hold on, I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck? You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, hero. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I told you already, I didn't do it, for serious.
That reminds me, did you ever find the other costume? Or the note?
Well, no, but...
How unfortunate, then it would seem we have our culprit.
Hey. This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
She's right, let's get down there first. Then the story can really begin. Yeah, good idea. That's right, I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Hifumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive, and for the 2 that lost their lives. The one who killed Hifumi and Taka. The one who killed the 2 of our friends. The killer is... someone right here. I took one last deep breath and exhaled slowly. I began to walk toward the elevator. Once everyone was aboard, another one of these shots where we're in the elevator and the steel box began to move. We keep getting... look how little we are. Dude, we've barely got anyone left. The clunking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There was no going back until we settled with all this. We couldn't go anywhere. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator door slid open, opening up to a cruel fate. Onto a... What does it look a little bit different?
When I see all of you gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
It's just what I said.
Only because of you.
Why? Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other?
What? Do you really hate me so much because I'm so cute?
But I'm so cute. Stop goofing around and begin the trial.
Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. I will never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break. I never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats.
The room looks different. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. I feel like we say that every time. I'm not sure if it's the same thing though. Thanks for the save game. Okay, how about we open our e-handbook real quick. See what throw bullets we've got. We should take a good look, so we know what's happening. Well, we know the Monokuma file. I have the blue tart, the repository dolly, Hifumi's glasses, spotless hammer. Honestly, I feel like I know most of the... broken wristwatch, right? I think maybe it's good to know it so you can shoot the truth bullets as skills. Do we have any of these? I think that would be pretty cool. Oh, you can set it. Oh, it's already set. Oh, okay. Finish preparations. We're done. Alright. Fuck, man. I hate this so much.
Of the class trial.
I always suck at it.
Your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it!
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit.
It almost sounds like Siri's reading out her stuff with a bit of an accent.
I didn't. Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
She's going to say
I'm
that.
sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know. I don't know.
Is Hiro really the killer? Or before anything else, we have to make that clear. Hiro is clearly not the killer. Let's be honest, it's not Hiro. I feel like every time we assume it's somebody else, it's like the last person possible.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No, just hold on a second.
Was that all of it? I mean, looking at the blueprints, the handwriting is awful messy. If I remember right, Hiro's handwriting is...
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are...
Woo! Sara, what you causa? I don't even know if I'm saying that right on my meme and my weeaboo nature.
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on. I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
Oh my god. Everybody just should know that.
And he is not the only one. I think Hiro is innocent as well.
My boy Togami, bitches.
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course he passes it off to me. Typical Togami. Aww. Okay, let's get it.
Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
The suspicious individual in question, the one that must have been in the suit, was the Illuminati hero, Hina. The Illuminati!
I got it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
But maybe the person in the suit was not the killer.
Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
Because he didn't do it.
Makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
Hey, you love him. You should agree with him.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
Can do!
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you
The things that were used to move Taka's body, they must have been... I was correct then. There's still one more thing. Dolly was found. Aha! Okay, cool.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
So the attitude.
Let's see if I can explain.
He was hoping that we'd get it
Taka's
wrong.
body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
Oh my god,
There is
Togami.
no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Excuse me, I solved both of the previous cases. Try me, bitch.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
I solved the cases, you didn't do shit, lady. Why is Celeste pissing me off? I used to like her, my dude. Wow, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean, but maybe I can change your mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have moved from the equipment room to the repository, a new element has been added to the bullet time battles. Would you like to hear more? I mean, I will be lost if I don't hear about it, am I right? Let's talk about reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements, but from now on, just locking on and pressing the left mouse button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the tab key. Just like locking on, you have to press the tab key in time with the tempo marker. Basically, just remember that the tab key now has a function along with the RMB and LME buttons. You'll automatically reload at the start of fever time and your ammo will not decrease. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Well then, good luck and have fun. I'm not sure if it's gentle. Again.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch.
Oh, I need to tab.
You miserable wretch. You have it wrong.
Failed. Ah, god damn it. Nobody believes me. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say.
Uh-oh, have we already come to the end of the debate? Well then, the class trial is officially adjourned. Now it's time to reveal who's the black kid. Boo-hoo-hoo.
Makoto.
Is this really?
I mean,
I refuse to give up yet.
that'd be a bit dumb if I give it up now. Okay, I think I'm gonna read about it again. See you in a bit. Okay, I think I got it. You know, I never understood how to play that game, but I think I just need to press the buttons in order as left, right, tab, so I can reload while I'm shooting the thing.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Woo! I did it from the second try. I actually got how it works. I'm quite happy about that. I think that's probably one of the last class trials though, isn't it?
Dolly in the repository. One of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much?
Anyway,
I spent so much time trying to get close to you.
let's get back to
Fuck
the main
you.
subject.
Well, anyway, okay, he said that.
The subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. What kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
If I look at how the body was removed, it will be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? Oh god. Make your argument. Robo Justice costume. Okay. I'm ready, bitches. Fight me.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the
I only have one heart.
correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, Then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over. Then you could push the dolly, no problem. So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
I don't remember how you skip it.
Sorry, I don't think I realized anything.
Oh my god, I know where to shoot it, just didn't shoot it.
Was killed in the equipment room. And from
I don't remember how to
the
skip
body was moved to the
Aha, there we go.
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
Bam.
No, it's wrong.
I think I'm doing good. I'm doing alright, but my heart is at one heart.
That you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, it totally can't bend at the waist. It seems a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no chance the costume was taken off just to move the body because you can't take it off by yourself. Once it's on, you can never take it off. You're not strong enough.
I got it! I don't think taking
Oh, I'm
off the
regaining
suit was
hearts.
an option.
Yes!
If you remember,
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. Hello, help? Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make the stupid friggin' thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo-Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did he get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo-Justice, that's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility?
Yeah, what my girl
Instead
said,
of seizing
bitches.
on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every...
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of
Thank you,
unfortunate events
Gary,
from the
for your
beginning.
existence. You're a
Maybe
beautiful
we'll uncover
creature.
something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself.
Kyoko.
We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
I saw a shadow, something moving at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the 2nd floor, and soon after that...
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
And then...
What's that? That came from downstairs, it must have been... Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad, come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation, and from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover, okay. I clicked a little too quick. Oh. Monokuma file free, so just the Monokuma file.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
The Justice Hammers were numbered, but were they really used in that order?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Oh no, that's wrong. Shit, it's not gonna take away one of our... It took away an entire heart.
Regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
Shit.
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came...
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So,
regarding, I wonder if, or perhaps it was, we already know Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice while Taka's death...
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
so,
I wonder if, or perhaps it was, we already know what Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Shoot!
Oh no. Shit. What happens then? Do we have to go back to where we saved? Because that would be...
I refuse to give up yet.
Oh, it gives us all our hearts back. But where do we start from? Oh.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So it has to be one of these two statements, but what happened?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the number.
It's true that while Taka's death...
See? So it's obvious Taka
I think I'm gonna
came
shoot it on what order.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Why? It does not work on either of those things.
Shoot.
So,
I wonder if, or perhaps it was, we already know Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Okay, so both of these are wrong, but those are the only two yellow lines in the entire thing. How does that work?
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the number.
It's true that he flew while Taka's dead.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammer.
It doesn't make any sense. I can't do it. Okay, there's only 2 lines you can shoot, and shooting either of them doesn't result in you getting anything, so that's a bit confusing. I'm testing out stuff now.
So, regarding
I don't remember
Taka's
how
death,
you could grab a
I
thing
wonder if he
from the
died before Hifumi,
text.
or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Nope. Nope. I don't know the button that... I don't remember how you get it. You could use truth bullets from... Okay. So I'm gonna press... Cool. That's what I meant to do.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
Nope. I think I'm wrong about this again. I'm not sure, but I think I may have been right. So
It's obvious Taka came after.
I'm just gonna grab what order and I'm gonna pop it on the other thing.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Yes! Oh my god. Finally, Jesus.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
I completely forgot about that green thing option for a while.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that relates to what time he must have died. Oh no! Wristwatch! Come on. There we go. A. Give me the A. C. H. Somebody give me an H. There we go. I did it! Oh, I actually know this one. Cool. I know one word. God damn it.
Got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer, because as of last night...
Hey you, how long were you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office. And that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
Yeah, but it's not the two that were left
Stop
ahead.
there.
Then
There was also the moment
Yeah, I don't know what I was
when
trying to say.
his body vanished. Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared. So
Kyoko?
they must have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
He walked there himself. We could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then, the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
That's what I said. I don't know if I said it.
The dead body.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult.
I mean, he did clean up his glasses.
We thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
Bam, my boy Togepi gets it.
Alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he
You
was
didn't check
simply
if he was
playing
dead.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive. Is it really possible? I'd say it is. And I know exactly why. Let's check out the... Hold on, I want to check out how to switch the thing. The bullets. Ah. Okay, so if I do... No. Wait, what? I'm not sure how you do that. Shit. Can you?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead.
Maybe that's the only one we've got?
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
That's not what I meant to do.
And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
No, not what I was trying to do here.
Shoot!
Yeah, I'm being lost again. Okay.
There's a chance he was actually still alive.
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
I'll try
And
this.
that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery. Shoot!
What?
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he...
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Are you saying
What?
that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery of Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Now I wonder if I can use that.
Are you
Yes,
saying
I
that
can.
when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible.
I didn't know you could pick them up from the end and that they'll come back. That's pretty useful now.
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Ah, okay, that works. That worked. Okay, great, great. You know, I was really confident in the beginning. Not anymore.
Was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
The second body discovery announcement, the first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office and in the equipment room. And the second time was when both bodies were discovered, when Toko was found unconscious just after Hifumi came back to life.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies. It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
Yeah.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But
Oh, would you
honestly,
shut up
I do not
already?
think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery
Hey,
of his
waifu.
body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that Trace Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Oh no. Honestly, at this point in time, I'm starting to hate the argument bits. We only given one bullet. Oh.
The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, it's wrong!
I got it right. Oh,
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
the evidence I found that trash can in the nurse's office was
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Ho
This is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... what exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glass.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
And it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Booyah.
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
We have a solution to that
The
too.
fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies.
Kyoko said it
He
for us.
figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out. So he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot.
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
The one who moved Taka's body was Hifumi?
It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the...
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Of course she points to us.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a home, maybe we can use it to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants. Taka.
Got it! That's right! Taka!
With Hifumi's pants
The killer
specifically.
used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
think it's obvious.
Why must you ruin it every time?
I don't know, man. Don't ask me. Oh no, I've gotta do the argument. Please let it only be on bullet. Let it only be on bullet because I don't know how to switch the bullets.
Puppy had the note,
Uh-huh.
right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy.
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
She might be wrong. The broken wristwatch is what we need to use here, I'm sure.
Puppy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy.
But remember what the note said.
I actually kind of like Joe's
What time
voice.
did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
Right, never mind. Okay,
Had the note, right?
I guess I'll try on the last one.
Must have been Happy.
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
Aha, there we go.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. You've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that. No further objections.
At least she doesn't try to like fight us back.
Trick Taka.
I like her.
Just
I
the
like
same as me.
Genocider. She's cute. A cute little Genocider.
The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less.
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
It's right here, actually.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from its death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
Yeah, don't be dumb.
When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Ooh.
But me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Who are you calling a walrus?
Oh my god.
When they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to
Celeste.
kill
Oh.
Hifumi.
The weapon?
That's funny. I feel like I know that one.
According to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed
It's
was
the hammer
Justice
that
Hammer
was
3 and
cleaned
4
up.
Were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
Yep.
But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours.
Just a little bit.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then...
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth. I hate making arguments. I always fail so bad. Spotless hammer. Okay, we only have one argument with this. Whew. Let's see.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
We can...
Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers! And, that's about it.
Oh man. It feels like there's multiple places where that could be shot.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is
No.
about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers!
Yeah, okay, we got it right. Oh, we got it right. Whew. Good.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris, but for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... Oh no, this one I have zero clue about. Oh my god, Spotless Hammer again? Okay.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Oh man. I don't know. Dude, what?
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate.
I'm kinda confused about this.
Assuming the rule holds true, it is
It's
simply
not this.
that
I
two
could
people work together.
bet it's not. Bet what the
That is how
fuck?
the
Bet.
rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however,
Okay, okay.
there were two
I'm gonna
murders.
try this.
Based on
Oh,
the
okay,
rules
it's
that
saved.
have been
Okay.
laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can. Assuming the
And maybe
rule
then we
holds
use it on
true,
Impossible?
it is
Aha, okay. That works. That works. Whew. Okay, okay, we're good, we're good.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
It's a bit scary.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi.
Oof.
They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And
Okay.
based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only
Jeez.
looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
Have you seen your
You
class?
think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
I would say it makes sense. The effort made to convince us the two murderers were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed the fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at
I
this.
understand how an accomplice was
She's
the one pulling
waifu.
you
Waifu
from
can
me.
do anything, okay?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debates up until now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. We have to pick? I would say Celeste. She was very suspicious. Are we right?
It was Celeste.
You know, I know I'm right. I've watched the anime.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
Yeah, you are.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying
We've
then
gotcha.
is that I specifically
You know, I
chose
liked
to
you. I
work
liked
together
voicing
with
you. You had a...
Hifumi.
I gave you
The
this
idea
accent and
that I would
everything.
choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that.
Oh, if I have to go to one of more of these, I'll kill myself.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is.
Yes.
Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Encountering the suspicious individual, the screaming, the paper, that. We have all 5 hearts. We have all 5 hearts, so if the thing happens again, I'll be alive.
The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Oh,
Sorry.
As
wow.
he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the
I wanna
costumed
punch him
individual.
now.
If we
I like
accept
him
Hifumi was one of
sometimes,
the
and every
culprits,
now and then
we
he's
can't
just a
help but
dick.
suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around the top of the stairs.
We headed to the 2nd floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the 3rd
I like how her face is stuck on that.
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what...
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. That's what I said before, that she actually appeared to always be there, like always scream about it. And she was just very suspicious the whole time, okay? He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he set it further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
What was that? That came from downstairs, it must have been... Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office, this is bad, come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into 2 groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split into 2 groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well, then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I'll leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, You were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
Oh, she knows how to mess with minds. Like, that's one thing with her.
Everything. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh,
Please finish this for me. I don't want to do
I
the
didn't even catch it
tempo
myself
thing
when you
again.
first said it, but looking back, I can say that one little slip-up was your undoing.
what are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're all going to die, just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
Are you dumb? I mean,
You hear that,
he is supposed to be the dumb
Celeste?
character,
Everyone's
I
having
guess.
some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said that's a less comment and doesn't make any sense. What is he alluding it to? Argument time! Monokuma Fire Freeze, the only choice we get. Okay, pay attention again.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
I think maybe it's the so strange part. I'm not sure yet.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around.
I'm just gonna skip a little.
Positively elated.
By the way, I'm most likely
We are
cutting
all
off,
going to die here.
at least partially,
We are going to die.
my tries.
Just like those guys
Maybe?
died.
Okay, let's see if that works. If it
And that is
doesn't,
all I said.
is there a way to... Yeah, maybe.
All it
I think I
takes
have
to
to shoot it
finish
at the text.
It's obvious, isn't it?
I
What was so
hope this
strange
is
about
right.
Celeste's comment?
Here. No. What? I missed it. I missed it. Oh wait.
All I
Oops.
said was...
Nah, maybe that's
They
not
must
the
really
case.
enjoying the sight of us. They must be... We are going to die. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish.
How about so strange?
About Celeste's comment?
On those guys. I think that's gonna be a perfect timing. Okay, let's try that.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be positively...
Oh my god, her acting is so obvious now. It's clear she's starting to get a little nervous.
Just like those.
Aha! Yes! Yes.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. so there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture?
I mean, I explained it the first time I saw it, I think. Clearly, it might be here for me that's dragging the robot around.
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Are you dumb? I keep on saying that. I mean, she's just trying to make us sing. Hifumi's dragging the suspect away.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the rope we've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around.
Because Celeste likes making us believe things that are not really there.
Stray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Let me educate you. Oh man. Just so you know, not a fan. I'm just making fun. Okay. Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? Oh. Shit, the music got super intense too.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out.
I think I'm gonna go for that.
And had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is
ridiculous. I like how she says that, it's hilarious.
If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Maybe?
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way! You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out.
I think the standing up straight should be it. He can, but he can. No, that was an accident. That was an accident.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight.
No.
Yes! Whew. Okay, that worked. That worked. We're fine. We're Gucci.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Ooh, that face is the face of yeah, I've done goof. I've done goof.
Hero into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then,
Dude, that sound. Oh, she's gonna go nuts. She's gonna go nuts. Oh, please don't make me do the temper. Please don't make me do the temper thing. Please don't make me do the temper thing. Hey, Fumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you?
Who killed me? That's right. I remember. Their name. Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
Oh my gosh, her voice.
And I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
It didn't say Hagakure.
It's Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro. But are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about?
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He gave everyone nicknames. He said people's last names. Maybe?
That's right.
Yeah, okay,
Our
cool.
last names. He called us all by our last names.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her
We
real
don't
name
know her
is.
name.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste won't give up. Serven. I have to do something to make her accept it. Oh. The e-handbook, the e-handbook, the e-handbook, the e-handbook. It's gotta be the e-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not
I like how it was
pretending.
turned upside down.
It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
Oh, I didn't even have to go through it twice. Woo! I think we're nearly done with
That's
this.
it. The handbook.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
This e-handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it.
When you start it up, it'll display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning.
Time we do the puzzle thing.
And that'll bring everything to...
Okay. So here we have Celeste. Okay. Perhaps this will go here. After which they stuffed him in the thing. I am not sure how that works. Okay guys, I'm gonna tell you real quick what exactly I did so you get the idea. I paused while I was doing that, so I think this is fitting here, which is basically here for me in the side profile. I then put the 1 AM thing because it made sense, because here is here. Here went here, because like the rest just don't really make sense. The ones that are left over from like previous cases in that backpack has nothing to do with this. So then clearly the culprit taking pictures. The wristwatch at 6 in the morning. Justice Hammer 4 here, so I placed it over there. Then I went for Justice Hammer 2, which is what he got hit with, supposedly. Then him playing around and Justice Hammer 3 being used there. And him pushing the tarp, and at the end just Celeste's normal hammer. Let's go. See if I'm right. I think I'm right. I may have mixed up the pictures in the actual thing, but
and that person was
Hifumi. That's right. Cool.
Hifumi, with an accomplice. The killer was able to execute a number
Goes a
of
bit hard for me to
otherwise
explain.
impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. They drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6
Actually kind of like the art style of the
moved
comic
into the
thing.
murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, Next, they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for.
Dude, I love that little image. Beautiful.
And turned the room into a crime scene.
Fabulous,
in
dude.
Which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This... He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to
It's
kill
right.
Hifumi
Everything's
and
right.
get rid
Okay,
of the
cool.
one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
So nice. What's up with the roses? Are we trying to do a low ship here? I'm trying to understand this.
You lose.
Yes.
I lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like...
Her accent changed.
Interesting.
She thought she could fake her accent and her name and be considered not Asian or something. Yeah, that didn't work for you. Sorry. Oh, what? It's probably because it respawned. Otherwise, I would have had like a
Come on, Akuma.
F.
I'm ready. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The black in this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations. So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure he relied on her speciality. Lying. Specialty. Oops. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then.
Then, did you use, you know... I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice, I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean? Is she talking about alter ego?
What? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here.
I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How
In
sad.
other words,
Then you're the one who stole it? That's right.
I see.
And you used to drag Hifumi into the plan he'd come up with? Right again. Last night after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit.
What are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it.
are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it.
So then...
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him. But how did he do it? She was supposed to yelp if Peter was got close to her.
You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
As for me...
Please forgive me. He threatened me. He did?
As for me...
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me. And he took pictures. He said if I do not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I have no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime, an absolute crime. I mean, and you can go a little crazy, but I never imagined he would go that far.
It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was.
I'm about to say something I've never said it before in my life. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him.
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please. If you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands. Huh?
Actually,
Taka is planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
Escape? You don't mean...
Taka is going to try to kill you.
indeed.
What?
And also he can keep her to himself.
That bastard! That bastard!
Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts?
Absolutely not. How could I? She...
I have to save her!
Actually,
Then, would you like to join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan.
Huh?
I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete.
What are you talking about?
Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that the item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me. That makes both of us. I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation? Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea I could make something like that. But it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why did you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. Oh my god. I really wanted her to say that.
See.
As in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life was being very tough on your parents too. I feel like I would cry. Could cry. Oh, oops. But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him live?
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead once someone showed up, I don't mean to say he'd been seriously wounded, he was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on.
And he really believed that?
Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. As I explained to Hifumi, the plan was, while you were questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have had an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly right up to him until the moment of his death.
So in the end,
So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
How can human life mean so little to you?
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win. Now you sound like Byakuya. She always sounded like Byakuya. No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we're nothing alike.
Why?
Then, why did you take things this far? Was it really? What? I started mix up their accents and voices. Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offers us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment of our new life here began, my only thought had been escape. But all along you've been saying how we have to accept living here. Obviously that was a lie. I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here. I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And you wanna know why? Huh? Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up my own dream forever. And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing. And it was all for that dream. And what was that dream of yours? To live in an European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butler/bodyguards. They kind of all look like vampires or something. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and oh my god, I was right! And satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence, I don't know. Living the rest of my life there was my only dream and my only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right at the edge, but unfortunately my dream had been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my own dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
Do you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's how we should be saying it. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Indeed.
That's right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had the choice, then I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette. You just get executed again. And when she did, it looked like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, But that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak fake smile is what betrayed her.
Chills, kills!
You done? Okay then, let's get rolling. The black and disturb the peace and must pay the price. Now then, I've prepared the... Okay. For her, the ultimate gambler.
Everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What?
This is...
Will it really give you the
Oh
hope
my
you're
God.
looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
I actually think I like her voice better when she's not having that accent. It actually sounds pretty nice otherwise. I think I would have liked her if she had her normal name and voice and stuff more. But the accent is what gave her her characteristic, I guess. Now we're about to watch her execution. Should be dang. I mean, I've already seen that before. I've watched the anime. I don't know if it's a little different. The burning of the Versailles switch. Woo! So, getting burned like in the old days. It's actually kind of beautiful, like the colors of the flames and stuff. Of course. This show likes to be over the top. Rip Celeste. At least we're finally done with the class trial, am I right? That was a long ass episode, dude. Okay. Bye. It's over. The third execution is over. That means I can pause and save, so I think I'm gonna end this video here, and I'll see you in the next one. So if you guys liked it, make sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment down below, and subscribe if you're new, and goodbye. SugaryND in and out.